Are you thinking of surprising your loved one with a VR headset this holiday season but can't decide which one to get? Maybe it's going to be their first headset, or perhaps they already have an old VR headset and you just want to get them a nice upgrade. Well, you better start calling me Santa because you've come to the right place. Because this video is going to be all about my recommendations for which headset to buy this Christmas 2024. And the video is going to go something like this. First, I'll give my recommendations for someone that hasn't used VR before. Then second, I'll give my recommendation for someone that has or has used VR before, and then finally I'll give some recommendations on games that I like that would be good for first-time users. Now before we start, I want to be completely transparent. I am affiliated with some of the companies I'm going to talk about in this video, Meta being one of them. What this means is if you purchase any headset or games through the links in the description, I do get commission. This is at no extra cost to you. Having said that, I always try and be as honest as possible with my videos, and I think that shows in my headset reviews. And I stand by these suggestions in this video, affiliated or not. So along with the affiliate links in the description, I'll also be putting non-affiliated links to all of the products I mention in this video. That way, if you'd like to support me at no extra cost to yourself, you can click on the affiliate links, and if you don't want to, you can click on the non-affiliated links and still get yourself an awesome VR headset. There's one more thing I have to say before I get to my recommendations. The most important thing you can do is ask your kid or loved one about VR. For example, if you ask your kid what VR they like and they say that all of their friends have a Quest headset, that makes the choice for you. Because if you get them a Quest headset, then they can play with their friends. So yeah, I can recommend things, but it's important you get an idea yourself of what they might want. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So first up, buying a headset for someone that has never used VR before. Now for me, this is a rather easy answer. If the person you're buying for doesn't have a PlayStation, then you should go with a Meta headset, either a Quest 3S or the Quest 3. And the reason I'm saying this is because they are the best value headsets on the market for the price. Meta headsets are standalone, which means you don't need to plug this into a powerful PC or console to get them to play games. That means you can take one of these things in a car, on a train, family trips away, and it will work just as well as if you were using it at home. Meta headsets also have the best mixed reality for the price. And for anyone that doesn't know what mixed reality is, it's when you can see the real world through the headset, and it makes it so there are holograms that appear in your living space. So out of the two options, the Quest 3S is definitely the more entry-level headset at $299 US, and you could consider the Quest 3 as the Pro headset at $499. I actually made a video summarizing the differences between these two headsets, and I'll link it up here somewhere, but to summarize, the Quest 3 has a larger hard drive at 512 gigabytes, and it also has better resolution and better lenses, which basically means things look better in this headset compared to this one. And if you buy either one of these headsets right now, you get some nice bonuses. The first being that you get the game Batman Arkham Shadow bundled with these for free. I actually played through the whole game in October. It's amazing. It's a really good game. It's one of the best games of the year, and it's definitely worth playing. Then, because I'm affiliated with Meta, I can actually offer some extra deals with these too. If you buy either one of these headsets through my link, when you set up your account for the first time, you'll get $60 of in-store credit, which you can then spend in the Meta store on new games. Meta also has a Play Now, Pay Later initiative, where you can pay for either one of these headsets over 24 months with no interest. The benefits of buying the headsets this way is that it gives you a Quest Plus membership. Think of Netflix but for VR games, as well as their Warranty Plus, which covers any accidental damage. So for the Quest 3S, this costs $19.99 per month for 24 months, and for the Quest 3, it costs $29.99. And of course, if you buy either one of these headsets through this initiative, you also get Batman Arkham Shadow for free. But there's one more thing you might want to consider. Does the person you're buying this for have a PS5 or a PS5 Pro? Because if they do, then a good headset to consider is the PSVR 2. And while I haven't tried it myself, I've only heard good things. And because the headset actually runs off the PS5, it means the graphics are really good. But the consideration with that is that it will be wired to the PlayStation 5, which means you can't take it away on holidays like you would be able to with a Quest. And the PlayStation VR 2 costs $349 at the moment. Now let's move on to buying for someone that already has a VR headset. Which headset would make a nice upgrade? This is where it gets a bit complicated because it depends on what headset they already have. So the first thing you have to do is go and ask them what headset they got. And if I was a betting man and playing a game of statistics, I would guess that they would say they have a Quest 2. In which case the upgrade would be a Quest 3S or a Quest 3. The reason being is they're already in the Quest ecosystem, meaning that if they upgrade upgrade to either one of these headsets, all of their games, their profile will all transfer over to these new ones. Having said that, coming from the Quest 2, the Quest 3 will feel like a bigger upgrade than the Quest 3S. But the Quest 3S is still a significant upgrade over the Quest 2, so you can't go wrong with either of these. But what if you ask them what headset they have and they have a PC VR headset? This then becomes a lot more difficult because there are many PC VR headsets, all with varying specs. So what I would suggest you do is go to them, ask them what headset they have, come back to this video and tell me in the comments what headset they have. Then I will personally get back to you with my recommendations for an upgrade. But if you'd like to know what headset I personally use for PC VR, I use a Big Screen Beyond. It's an expensive headset at $1,000 and you wouldn't be able to surprise them with this because you need them to take a face scan of their face. The reason being is that they actually mold the face gasket to your face, so it fits you perfectly. And unless you already had a Valve Index, you'd need to buy the controllers extra and you'd also need to buy the lighthouses extra too. So it is an expensive buy, but it is by far my favorite PC VR headset at the moment. Now let's move on to the final part of this video, which is what games you should consider buying for a new VR player. There are loads of VR games to choose from, and depending on the age of the person that's going to be playing, the choices will vary. So at first, I'll give my recommendations that are kid-friendly, and as we go down the list, it's going to get more and more adult. And then finally, I'll recommend some mixed reality games too. And another benefit of me being a Meta affiliate, if you buy any of the games for Quest, you get 20% off through my links. So if you're buying a headset for a kid, there are tons of games I can recommend. Gorilla Tag is actually free if you own a Quest headset, and that's one of the most popular VR games for children at the moment by a mile. Then you've also got IamCat, which is just a fun little game where you guessed it, you play as a cat. Among Us VR is another one that's very popular with the younger generation. It plays exactly the same as the flat screen game, just in VR. Beatsaber is a classic VR game where you use lightsabers to hit blocks. Think of Guitar Hero, but in VR. Walkabout Mini Golf is another classic, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. It's mini golf. And Dungeons of Eternity is by far one of my favorites. You go through dungeons fighting monsters, spiders, and skeletons. But there is hardly any gore, which makes it another good one for youngsters. Now let's move on to some more adult games. Population 1 is like Fortnite in VR. It's free on Quest as well, but it has guns and shooting. Superhot VR is another classic and a must play in my opinion. The premise is when you're stopped, time is stopped, but whenever you move, time also moves, and it makes for some really fun gameplay. Metro Awakening, that's a really recent game, but it's one of my new favorites. It's very scary and I got jump scared many times. Arizona Sunshine Remake and Arizona Sunshine 2 are great zombie titles which are very gory, so definitely not one for the kids. Into the Radius, one of my favorite survival games in VR. I made a whole video on it. It is so good. Definitely worth checking out. And of course, if you have PC VR, then playing Half-Life Alyx is a must. Then finally, in terms of the mixed reality games, these are some good ones to start. Starship Home turns your room into a spaceship. The game has an 8-hour story, which is much longer than most other mixed reality games. Trackcraft is pretty cool as you race your car through levels in your living room. And Lego Bricktales puts a Lego set in the middle of your room where you can control a character to complete puzzles. Then I have one final suggestion for anyone getting a Quest headset. I did mention this once already, but instead of buying a bunch of individual games to start, you could just use your MetaQuest Plus trial that comes with the headset. This gives you access to a library of over 20 VR games. So it's a great starting point to trying different types of VR games and starting your VR journey. I've either made or am making right now a full video on Quest Plus, so look in the description or here for that. But yeah, I think that's everything. I think you're making a great choice in getting your loved one or yourself a VR headset this Xmas. In my opinion, it's one of the most immersive way to play video games, and I'm sure whoever you're buying this for will have a blast with it. And as I've mentioned, all of the links will be in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!